WNEMTV5 News.
Flint teachers and school board at odds. I'm Sierra Cersei. We'll tell you why the board rejected the union's proposed agreement.
Plus, James Crumbly and his attorney don't want two possible witnesses to testify in his trial next month. I'm Blake Keller, their argument behind it.
It's National Margarita Day. I'm Lauren Piesco, learning the art of mixology with Mid-Michigan's only bartending school. It's time to wake up Mid-Michigan. It's Thursday, February 22nd.
We are waking up to a little bit of a colder morning. Temperatures dipping back down just a little bit. This is a live look at downtown Saginaw, clear and cool. So you'll definitely want to grab a jacket this morning.
Let's go ahead and first alert you to what you need to know before you head out the door. So you'll need that jacket because temperatures are a bit more mild this morning. So here with us, First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro. Matthew, what can we expect?
Sierra, Blake, we are expecting a bit of a colder morning here. Temperatures have been falling down a bit compared to the same time yesterday. Most locations at about 5 to 10 degrees. We've even seen some patchy fog rolling in up north closer to West Branch and Houghton Lake as well. Before this morning, seeing 25 in Houghton Lake, also in West Branch. We have 30 in Saginaw, and then we still have 32 degrees in Flint. So a bit warmer towards the south. It is a calm wind for this morning, though, so wind chill's not too much of a factor. One of the key differences in today's outlook, though, especially with temperatures, is a northeasterly wind that started to develop in your forecast. So we are giving you that first alert that there will be quite a large temperature variation today. For instance, Kingston at 49, Port Austin only at 38 for your high this afternoon. We've also been keeping tabs on that rain towards the south. It's still been staying dry in Flint so far this morning. So far so good on that morning commute. Let's take a wider look at your live on time traffic map sponsored by Mid-Michigan Toyota dealers, and things have been looking pretty good so far. Still no delays to report here in Mid-Michigan, even towards Flint. We haven't seen any delays there. Just a new report of what looks to be a building fire. This is at Crimson Rose Drive and Rosewood Drive, so that's closer to Mount Morris and Beecher this morning. Towards Lansing, though, no issues that way on I-69. And if you're traveling towards Metro Detroit, that looks good this morning as well. Blake, I'll send it over to you.
Matthew, thank you for those updates. And developing now, James Crumbly's attorney is arguing against the testimony of two witnesses during his upcoming trial. Crumbly is charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter related to the Oxford school shooting, in which his son Ethan shot and killed 4 students in 2021. Prosecutors say James got that gun for Ethan. Prosecutors want 2 survivors to testify during his trial next month, but Crumbly's attorney says the testimony isn't relevant.
Their testimony, the primary purpose of their testimony is to inflame the emotions of the jury.
His lawyer also wants jurors from a different county to hear the case, arguing he won't get a fair trial because of this month's conviction of his wife Jennifer on the same charges. His trial begins March 5th, while Jennifer Crumbly will be sentenced April 9th. Make sure you stay with TV5 for continuing coverage.
A person now in custody after a deadly shooting in Flint Wednesday. This happened around 12:30 on the pier near Tebow Street. The victim was 43-year-old Joshin Edwards. He was recently released from prison, meaning he was exonerated at the end of 2022 when the state Supreme Court dismissed his charges in connection to a deadly shooting of a Flint teen back in 2007. The High Court ruled his rights were violated when authorities failed to share favorable evidence with the defense lawyers.
Pigeon man accused of using the internet to watch child porn. 28-year-old Adonis Rafael Diaz is charged with possession and distribution of child sexually abusive material, and these are felonies. He was arrested by state police and arraigned in district court in Huron County. He will be back in court February 29th.
U.S. officials now warning Americans to stay away from Russia as authorities hold another person there with a U.S. passport.
The arrest just became public knowledge, and Amy Kiley reports experts believe Russia is using her now for leverage.
If you were considering travel to Russia for any reason, do not do it.
U.S. officials are warning Americans in Russia to get out and stay out after the arrest of a California woman with dual U.S.-Russian citizenship. 33-year-old esthetician and dancer Ksenia Karolina faces up to 20 years in a Russian prison. Her boyfriend says he bought her a plane ticket as a birthday gift, and she was excited about visiting her family.
She was more worried about not being around her grandparents, and they are very old.
The State Department says dual citizenship won't help her.
The Russians simply consider this person a Russian citizen.
Karolina is accused of treason. Her employer says the allegation is that she gave just over $50 to an American charity that supports Ukraine. And yet her boyfriend says
She doesn't watch the news. She doesn't intervene with anything about the war.
She's due in court later this month, but experts say her case isn't Russia's real focus.
Americans are being viewed as bargaining chips.
Already, Russian President Vladimir Putin has suggested trading American journalist Evan Gershkovich for a Russian hitman serving a life sentence in Germany.
The more Americans they can have as hostages, the better for them.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Also in prison in Russia, former U.S. Marine and Michigan native Paul Whelan, he was sentenced to 16 years in June 2020. Just this past December, marking 5 years that he's been imprisoned, the U.S. considers him wrongfully detained.
Bay City's Independence Bridge temporarily closing so construction crews can finish up some work. The closure starts tomorrow morning at 7. The bridge reopens at Saturday night at 6.
Genesee Valley Center says it's hoping to reopen before the end of the week as it continues to deal with a water main break. We heard from the mall for the first time Wednesday after it closed over the weekend because of those water issues. It says the break happening in an interior corridor. There was no flooding or water damage, though, to any of those businesses.
People in Pinconning might have to wait a bit longer for ambulance services. The chairman of Northern Bay Ambulance says that at the end of April, the city wants to cut ties with the service owned by Pinconning, Mount Forest, Garfield, and Pinconning Townships. Chairman Dennis Whitney says that the service has been under new management since last fall after financial issues. He says that the city has until the end of the month to reach an agreement and worries what will happen if it doesn't.
I have a sister that lives there. I have a nephew who owns a business there, and all the people, and I got a lot of friends that live in the city of Pinconning, and that's too bad that they would be out of service. And if I'm driving through there and I get in an accident, am I going to be taken care of? Or anybody else that's coming through the city of Pinconning? It's really scary.
The city manager did decline a request for an on-camera interview, but did tell us that the city will have service possibly through Bay County, acknowledging the potential for longer wait times. She says there will be a special meeting on the issue next week.
Today, Thomas Township's fire department is holding open interviews for on-call paid firefighters. So those interviews are from 11 to noon, and then there's another one 6 to 8. It's at the station on Dice Road. It currently has 8 on-call firefighters, a number the chief would like to double. If you apply, though, you can't be a felon or have a beard, and you do have to live in the township.
We don't want to pull from any of our neighboring fire departments. James Township, Richland, Tri-Township, Tiwawassee, Saginaw Township, all of our neighbors, they have the same needs that we have.
If you are accepted, you'll get training at no cost.
Isabella County getting 75 AEDs, money for that life-saving equipment coming from the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe's 2% grant. The devices will be placed throughout the community.
For your Thursday, we're giving you the first alert to a bit of a temperature variation by this afternoon. Farther inland, still fairly mild. Temperatures close to 50, but on the shoreline of Lake Huron and the Saginaw Bay, temperatures will only stay in the lower 40s, potentially even some upper 30s. And there's your example from your first alert hometown forecast. We've also had some fog rolling in this morning up north, Houghton Lake and West Branch, seeing some lower visibility. So first alerting you to potentially a little bit of extra time needed on our roads farther up north. Sierra, Blake, we'll send it back over to you.
All right, Matthew, thank you. TV5 News Time is 6:08.
New laws urging gun owners to find safe storage. Why one store owner of guns believe some are holding out.
We're celebrating, I should say, National Margarita Day with the first ever bartending school right here in mid-Michigan. Stay tuned. We're going to show you some easy to make drink recipes next.
Delicious. All right, so let's take a live look. This is I-69 down in Genesee County, and we got a good flow of traffic. Roads are clear, conditions are clear. It's just cool out there. Stick around. We have more news and weather ahead for you.